Hi everyone, I'm Dionne and I'm presenting for Group 2, Information Systems Architecture and Infrastructure. My group mates are Felicia, Wallace, Brayan, Fekete, Corser, Domeneque, Ruff, Raqual, Rosario, and Warrine, Leicester. So just a brief introduction. The article that we used for our presentation is What Mobile Cloud Means for Your Business. It was written by Maribel Lopez and we found it on Forbes Online, and it's just a brief overview of how mobile cloud works for a business and what is this architecture that works within the infrastructure. And as we go through the presentation, I'll explain to you what we're talking about. So going mobile, how has it changed business, and what is the cloud? Where is it? What are people always talking about? We hope to give you some insight on those topics as well. First things first, the cloud. If you've ever used your email, sent an email, uploaded something to an email, you are using the cloud. It's an interconnected network where all of your data files come together and then you can access from wherever you are. It's like an online server. It doesn't exist anywhere. It's actually everywhere, virtually. So just a brief history, cloud computing started about 40-50 years ago. Initially, they had one computer, a mainframe computer, because they were really expensive at the time, and then they had shared user logon. So it was one computer and everybody had their own logon where they can go and access information. Nowadays, fast track to 2015, you have one user with multiple mobile devices. So now you see how the input has shifted, and then now mobile is mainstream. That access is everywhere. Cloud computing, not to be remiss, is another term describing the architecture. What happens is applications are written to operate on a particular platform, and then these platforms have to be able to support that application and any updates from that app as well. So these applications are the architecture part, and the platform becomes your infrastructure part. So you see how they come together to create what we know as mobile technology today. How can you attain cloud technology? Well, first things first about cloud technology, if you ask someone to define cloud computing, it's going to be user specific. What do I mean by that? I use my phone each day, mainly just to play Candy Crush, and I like the fact that I have 5 lives on my phone, and then I can go and play Candy Crush on my computer. All my progress is saved, and I have 5 more lives to go, and then I can go and play Candy Crush on my tablet, and I have 5 more lives there, and still I have not lost any of my progress. Now, for someone else, it may be the fact that they have their calendar synced across multiple devices. For another person, it may be that they have access to their emails or maybe Dropbox. So cloud computing and technology just becomes user specific. A company might want to just have an app where they can do surveys, they can send out coupons. It pretty much just depends on what type of business it is, what is the interest of the user, what kind of target market there is, and then cloud computing just kind of evolves. So we talked a little bit about how the cloud works, where you have your smartphone, you upload that data, it goes into the cloud, and then you can access it from any device. All right, so some of the services that you find in cloud computing, you have SaaS, software as a service. That's your finished product, like your email and so on that you use. Office 365. PaaS, platform as a service. This is where your application is built, where you have that test environment. You can upgrade your applications in this environment and also try out new applications. IaaS, infrastructure as a service. This is the virtualization of the content. This is where it's stored. This is where you have your servers. This is where you have your interconnected networks. Then you have DaaS, data as a service, where your files are protected, and then you have the file availability and accessibility from virtually wherever on whatever mobile device. Just a note about clouds, they can be either private or managed. If I have a company and I wanted to create this cloud, use this cloud infrastructure to support an application, I have the choice of whether I would want my IT company to manage that application or if I would want that to be done by the cloud company. And this creates a difference between private, managed by my own IT, or managed, where it's managed by that cloud company. All right, so we have companies for cloud infrastructure, and also for platform and development. Just an example, you have HP, they have a great pay-as-you-go program, and they do offer platform services as well. There's Microsoft, it offers flexibility, IT services, and you don't have to construct, manage, or anything. They offer a whole managed cloud system. VirtuStream, they're boasting that they have great security and your files and data will be available anywhere, which is pretty much offered through all cloud infrastructures. Rackspace, another managed cloud company. We have Amazon, they offer you a platform for test and development as well. And Google Cloud Platform, another test and development site. And of course that Google Cloud Platform is supported by the Google interface. And, you know, if you need something, just Google it. Other companies that offer cloud services are shown here. Facebook. I mean, just think about anywhere you go, upload your information, and you're able to access this at a later time. That place where you're uploading your information is probably a cloud company. The cloud pricing, it's just pretty much you decide the type of pricing you want. Most of it is pay as you go, but it's not like an electric bill. It's not like something where you know what your usage is going to be. A cloud pricing has to be custom to the features that the user is looking for and the amount of usage that you plan to have for this application and for the use of the cloud. 25 years ago, it was very expensive to create an app in the cloud. You would need venture capital. Nowadays, if you just have a little bit of skill and the time to put it in that testing environment, that's pretty much all you need. So things have become very simplified in the past 25 years as cloud computing has become more mainstream. Just a few advantages and disadvantages. A lot of the advantages we mentioned before, but some things to consider as disadvantages is whether or not your network is going to be able to work with cloud computing. Is your software going to be compatible? What about security issues? You know, once your information is in the cloud, it's susceptible to hacking. Who owns the data? A private cloud versus a managed cloud? And whatever you upload, is it then under the ownership of the cloud company, or do you still have your rights to it? Just a little bit of issues, things to consider when you're thinking about taking your business mobile and using that cloud infrastructure. Just in conclusion, we just wanted to bring across the importance to you of mobility and a company bringing their business into a mobile network or using that mobile technology. It definitely has its advantages, and going mobile is a direction that we are going in today. So some consideration definitely has to be given to that. The advantages and the disadvantages, the pricing, and how that mobile data can work for a company. Lastly, we have some questions for you. Just what do you think of cloud computing and how do you use the cloud on a daily basis? Have you experienced any problems from utilizing it? You know, when that app stops working or if the tab crashes? And also, if you can make changes to an application, what would you change about it and why? Thank you guys for listening.